everybody. It's Linda G.
Hey.
And Mel,
My
our
favorite,
about the town guy.
I'm with my favorite psychic and person in the whole wide world, Linda G. Yay.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my special aloha shirt on for you.
Yeah. So I put this on pause. Hold on. Hey, you guys, I just got an appointment with the vet. I had to tell Mel about it. So, okay.
Yeah, she's taking me to the vet this afternoon.
I'm going to get you neutered and
Oh
spayed.
God, please. Yeah, I need to be neutered.
I'm going to get you neutered and spayed.
Hey, at my age, I think I already have been. So
Okay, so here we go. We got a lot of questions and Mel has questions. You want me to go first?
you go first.
Big heads first.
There you go. Great minds always go first.
Okay. Hi, this is from Lotus. Hi, Mel and Linda. Why hasn't the Republicans removed Marjorie Taylor Greene from Congress? She doesn't.
Because my guys tell me she makes too much money for them. That's why.
That why?
Of course.
She's making a lot of money.
She'll get her Waterloo. My guides tell me. It was funny. I watched some congresswoman or senator that was doing a press conference and Marjorie Taylor Greene was heckling her.
I saw that, yeah.
This woman went off on her.
It was
And Marjorie
Debbie
Taylor-
something, yeah.
Yeah. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, like most bullies, just kind of slinked away.
Calm down.
Exactly. So the Republicans, they like the sensationalism, they like the anarchy, they like the chaos. Most of them do, not all. And so, she's made a lot of money for them. I disagree with her. I see her being gone at some point.
I do too.
She's she's gonna get, I think she's already in hot water. And there's more hot water coming for her, but I see her voted out. So
Oh, yes. Well, listen, last night, their 60 Minutes had Liz Cheney.
I didn't watch that, but I want to
Well, let me tell you something. She told the gal that was asking her questions, she said, are Republicans coming to you sort of on the sly and saying, and she said, all the time.
I'm sure.
All the big names are coming to her and saying, go girl, but they won't risk their own necks.
Yeah, because they're a certain part of the anatomy that I can't mention because they're afraid of Trump.
Right. So let me ask you something. I mean, do you think Liz Cheney can make it, or is she going to get voted out?
You know what? I don't see her voted out.
That's what I was picking up last night when I was watching her. She's very conservative.
I don't like her politics, but I admire her having the chutzpah, the courage to stand up against what's going on in the.
Well, she was just almost, I told you, she was in a rage. She's the one that you don't want to mess with come this January 6th thing. I see her saying, I don't care, arrest his happy butt, put him in jail. That's what I see her saying.
She's, they also say Nancy Pelosi is tough. Nancy Pelosi is equally as tough. So, but yeah. Cheney, you're right. I would not want to mess with her.
I would not. And then the other thing is, last night she was nearly teary-eyed that she was wrong about gay rights, and that her dad had said yes to it. And she said, my dad was right. My dad was right.
Well, I'll give her a half a point for that one.
Yeah, but her and her sister made up. Her sister has a family now, and she's married to her wife. And she said, I love my sister and my sister's family. And I mean, she was actually kind of teary-eyed. So.
Well, I think a lot of people, gay people are people too, just like everybody else, so hang around us for a while. You'll see that we're not much different than anybody else.
I think you're really different. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm way different, y'all. I wanted to be
Well, isn't that precious?
precious.
So, okay, give us a question.
All righty. What is behind the fraud in Texas?
The who?
Trump said to the governor Abbott in Texas that he wanted an audit of the election. And even though Trump won Texas, the question is, why are they doing that?
Yeah, I talked about it yesterday. I really feel that Trump is asking for an audit in all 50 states so they can't come back and say, why is he only picking Democratic wins? Why isn't he picking Republican wins?
Well, my guides tell me it's a litmus test to see how much he can get by with there as well, to say, even though I won Texas, the Democrats, it was still voter fraud. It's a litmus test, just like the recall election in California was a litmus test to see how much the Republicans could get by with. And it blew up in their face.
It sure did.
As you would say, it was a nothing burger.
A nothing burger. Nothing.
Somebody said it wasn't a nothing burger, and I said it was a nothing burger to the degree that
Yes.
the governor of California didn't get recalled, and here we are.
Hey, listen, Joanne wrote, I love this question. Per MSNBC, Loan Bobert has been caught paying rent and utilities for her failing bar business with campaign funds. What will be the repercussions for her illegal use of campaign funds?
Ooh, couldn't happen to a nicer person.
I know. Isn't that precious?
That is just so precious. Ain't that nice? These are our little private jokes going on. Well, I think that they're gonna do some forensics auditing and find out that she's used campaign money illegally in other areas as well.
I was feeling the same thing.
Yep. And so, there's the proverbial can of worms my guides show me, and they're opening it up. And so they'll find out a lot of other things she's used campaign money for that she shouldn't have. So
Awesome.
just had a landslide off my kitchen table over
Oh,
there.
is the ghostess in there?
The ghost is, it must be my guides affirming that what we just said was correct.
Yeah, but when I saw the thing and in my mind's voice, my guide's voice, I heard it's going to be trouble for her. She's going to wish she hadn't just so sloppily. Most of isn't Green and her both. Well, one of them has an education. One of them never even graduated from high school.
Well, if I think of both of them, let me ask you a question. Do you think that 140 IQ is really high?
So.
For the two of them combined?
No.
Yeah, their IQs are probably 70 apiece. And I don't know what school they went to, but Marjorie Taylor Greene's not the brightest crayon in the box, that's for sure.
No. I think she's the one without the education. So weird in that other gal. It's not for me to make for Green. There's something about her that feels like trash to me.
I was just thinking that.
There's something about her that feels kind of ugly.
Well, number one, she's a racist. Number two, she's a bigot. She's a supremacist, and she's just a bully. And she will. My guys tell me she will hit her Waterloo.
Yeah, and she's a clown show. She does all that shocking stuff because more money comes in.
Right, and it puts her in the public eye, which she likes. Rumor has it that they're selling tickets to the circus in her office. So.
Well, listen, I got to tell you something else. Last night I learned Liz Cheney is making money hand over foot. People are sending her money too. Even Democrats are sending her money.
I would send her money just to keep her standing up against the Trumplicans.
Wait till she starts telling folks off. There's going to be a plethora of funds coming in.
Well, I'll tell you who she's going to really be going after other than Trump is McCarthy. I mean, she already is.
Oh,
And
yeah,
she will not stop. She is going to be like a bulldozer, and she
I
will
love
get
it.
stuff on him. Ooh. You know, I heard somebody say that the women of the evening will be Trump's downfall. She's now Liz Cheney's not a woman of the evening, but you know, my guides tell me it's also the women that will bring down Trump and bring down McCarthy. And look what's happening.
That's right. That's right.
Liz
And the
Cheney
other
is,
one she hates is Jim Jordan.
oh yeah.
She told
Uh,
him to take his hands off of her.
she said it was because of him that whole effing thing happened. Oh yeah, she'll go after him too. She's got her hit list and she will not stop.
No.
And she's got the money to do it. She's
Yeah.
got the money to make sure that they look into it. And my guides tell me that ultimately she will win. I mean, with what she's doing with exposing them, but also, you know, she's not done in politics, Linda.
I'm telling you, I think she will be kind of like Superwoman, but she is a conservative. So, and again, last night, the key was she's telling us a lot of repubes are coming up to her and saying, you go, girl.
That's right.
The ones who are acting like they like Trump. They're too chicken. They can't. But listen, real quick, while I've got this fresh on my mind, I need to tell you something. Now, on Twitter, it's exploding that Pal, the Rottweiler, the Kraken, you know, the tall woman,
Right.
got ready to lose her law license. She gave the step-by-step of what was going on with that insurrection. And that part of it was just to slow it down because they were sure Alioto would vote yes to their, remember they took something to the Supreme Court and Alioto, they were waiting for Alioto to vote yes on it. That's all they needed. But, and now everybody's saying Alioto was in on this, the Supreme Court was in on this, and Supreme Court, but I, honest to God, in fact, I feel Alioto calling people and say, take my name out of this. Alioto was a no. He was always a no. No, we can't do this. He'd like to have, but no, you can't do this. But
Right.
I think it's just like Trump thinks that Supreme Court belongs to him, just like they thought Pence would go their way.
Right.
So I just felt like, I'm not feeling like it's something that, something, and you do feel the same thing.
I feel the exact same thing. You know, it's the frightening part about it, though, is Pence thought about it because he talked to Dan Quayle, you know, former vice president, I think was under Bush, not W, but
Yeah, the other one.
Bush. And Quayle said, absolutely not. You can't do that.
And don't you dare.
Don't you dare. And so the fact that Pence even thought of it was frightening.
He was trying to see if there was some way he could finagle it.
Right.
And they
So-
had it all planned out. This is beautiful. All this information is coming out, my friend. All
My
these
God,
details are coming out.
My guides just gave me a hit on something.
Pray tell.
Pray tell. That Pence is going to be called upon, I think, to testify for this 1-6 commission. And what did he know? That just hit me. And I've got cold chills all up and down.
Yes.
Honey, it ain't from COVID.
He can't, will he claim the fifth though? Because they'll be able to prove what he said. They've got all the paperwork.
He can't claim the fifth. That's only for the president, and it's only for a sitting president.
No, you can claim the fifth.
Oh, the fifth. I'm sorry. I thought you meant executive privilege.
No, he can't claim it.
He can claim, they can like Bannon and all those guys, they can claim the fifth. Or if they say, I don't recall, then that's lying to Congress because they can prove they do recall. But
Right.
just because he pleads the fifth does not mean that he's home clear. They can say, okay, well, we've got this evidence, this evidence, this evidence, so
Right.
work with us. And I think what they're going to do is give some of those people immunity from prosecution to get them to flip and to say what they know.
Okay.
Because those people like Bannon, Patel, I forget the other two, they're going to fight those subpoenas. My guide showed me them fighting and fighting and fighting. And they're going to say, we're not going to show up. But if they don't, they're going to get arrested. And I do.
I saw Bannon in jail.
That's right.
I saw
And
Bannon in jail.
that's right. And when Trump acquitted him and he had that poop-eating smile on his face, Bannon. Guess what? I said, he's still going to go to jail. They'll get him for more.
I saw that too. That's so funny. Come out of there eating a chili cheeseburger, acting like he's all
Right. Like eating that shrimp you always talk about, Linda.
that. Yeah, and I see Bannon, and you guys can tell me later, Linda, you were wrong, but I see him singing like a bird. I see him singing. I'm seeing he wants a deal.
You know what? That's the first time. That's the first time I thought about it. I really didn't see him singing, but I did. My guides did show me that two of them would sing like birds. So
Oh, who'd you pick up?
I don't know. They just show me two of them. So
Okay.
I think Patel will.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you ready for a question?
Yes.
You want me to give you one, or you want to give me one?
Okay. Why is Mitch McConnell threatening to block raising the debt ceiling? He knows it would ruin our economy and allow China to completely dominate the world economy. Is his plan to profit from his wife and her family's China ties?
No, I don't pick that up. But also, you know, they do this stuff and it never works for them. Remember when Trump shut the government down?
Right.
And then Trump's numbers plummeted?
You know, Mitch McConnell is just doing it to be an obstructionist. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to put anything through Joe Biden wants. Well, hello. But I see him not winning another term for Senate. And I still think there's some shenanigans in Kentucky they're going to uncover. And Mitch McConnell's days are numbered in the Senate.
Right.
I don't even think he'll
That's what
finish
I'm
out this full term. I just
Well,
don't.
you know, well, listen, he's bragging about when we take over again, and I never saw them take, you know, I do have sometimes I wish things to be true. But I felt very clearly via my guys that the Senate will be Democrat owned by more numbers. So his when we become, and then he said, when we take over the Senate, good luck to Biden never getting a Supreme Court. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
There's something we do in Italian, and this is to Mitch. Like this, Mitch.
Right.
I won't translate what it means, okay? But
I don't think his health is very good too.
I don't either. And Trump better watch his health too.
I'm telling you, I don't see him running in 2024.
You know, I don't either. And I watched your video, and it was really good. I have to compliment you.
Which one?
The one about, you know, I love Rachel Maddows, but she was like a Debbie Downer. Again, and I'm like, good Lord, I couldn't watch it. I had to turn it off.
I did too. Oh my God, because she was going down that dark road. And you know, that brings me to what what Franklin D. Delano Roosevelt said about, you know, you have to have faith. If you don't have faith, if you don't look to the future with faith, we might as well just hang it up.
Well, you know, it's funny that I had just done a video and then I watched you do yours. I haven't even watched yours. I did mine first. But then when I was talking about FDR, and I said, Linda Grindle had said, this is like the New Deal, this infrastructure package, and it will pass. It will go through. I see it going through.
I see it going through too. It might not happen till the 2022 people gets in there.
But it will happen. And I see the voters' rights things.
You know who's not going to win? Cinema.
Oh, good.
They've already done a no confidence vote on her in Arizona.
Oh, good. They better get a really tough candidate to replace her, though.
Yeah, they will.
I'm sure they'll get somebody. All right.
So will Biden be able to move past the horrible news focused only on what appears to be a failure? Will he come out of this time of corporate domination or dominion?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Will Biden get out from underneath all this bad? Listen, I don't care if he accidentally burps. They will crucify him. They're looking for anything to hit him with. And let me tell you something. That man is only concentrating on getting the job done. He could care less about another term. He could care less about his numbers.
That's right. I'll tell you what burns me is the fact that Trump got by with all of that stuff.
All that stuff.
And the more the more crazy it became. You know, he just would do another topper and another topper. And, you know, the Republicans always gave it some kind of excuse. Let Biden just look up because he's catching a thought and they say he's senile or he's this or
Yeah, yeah,
he's none of those things.
no,
But, you know, I think big business can be a good thing. I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of big businesses didn't put up with Trump shenanigans, nor will they.
cool.
Like a lot of these anti-vaxxers, they don't want to get vaccinated, but a lot of big businesses are saying, if you don't get vaccinated, you don't work here.
And they can do that. The
And they
Supreme
can do
Court has
that.
already said, all those nurses that said they can't do that to us, and the Supreme Court said, yeah, they can.
That's right. And so sometimes big business can really, in a good way, set policy. So, but
But
you know,
someone did, someone on New York Times or something I was reading, checked out the amount of red states and the loss of life. And they're saying Trump is losing his base to death.
exactly. Well, you know, when Mike Pence was governor of Indiana, he tried this, that businesses could refuse to serve people if they were gay. And a lot of the big companies, a lot of the big pharma companies and other ones said they were going to pull out of Indiana unless they rewrote that law. And
Well,
it forced Pence's hand.
Ohio just put that they're not, that you don't have to serve someone if they're gay. You don't have to do this if person's gay. So now big businesses are saying, now we're not going to deal with Ohio.
You know what? It won't hold up in Ohio. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, good.
You know, it was funny when Pence pushed that law through. You know, I have coronary artery disease, and when I'd have to travel through there to go to Kentucky, so I called the hospital and I said, if I happen to have a heart attack in your state and I happen to be gay, would you refuse to treat me? And they started laughing. And they said, we have had so many calls like this. And they're like, no, we will treat you. And I go, but not in a different ward, right? You'll just put me like.
Oh God, that's scary.
It is frightening. It is frightening. And you know, I've been the target of discrimination and bullying. When I was in high school, I was bullied. You know, sissy, faggot, queer, all those horrible names. And in a way, it made me strong, and I had to learn to forgive. But I wouldn't want anybody else to have to go through it. It's not pretty. And so I think when you've been the victim of that, then we stand up and fight for people's who are being bullied.
Yeah, because my uncle was a producer in LA, and he dated women when he was younger, but he was gay. And he just, in Hollywood of all places, he used to give us the inside scoop who was straight and who was gay in Hollywood. But anyway, so he got where he had to just not even identify himself as being gay. He had to live behind the shadows.
I know. It's like, I mean, what two people do behind closed doors is nobody's business.
Right, right.
Anyway.
But Liz Cheney says that was a huge mistake.
Well, you know, when Cheney's daughter, you know, she's lesbian, and they were against that whole gay thing, and she was, I don't know if she shared the stage with her father or not. I can't remember, but you know, by her coming out, it did a lot, I think, for gay rights. It really did.
I do too.
It took a lot of courage for her to come out. It takes a lot of courage to come out.
Right, exactly. Okay, what question you got?
Okay, Ken Paxton, the Texas Attorney General.
Oh God, he's ugly.
Oh my God, I know. If I had that face on my butt, I wouldn't be afraid to back in a hornet's nest. And Abbott ain't much to look at. Abbott ain't much to look at either. Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General, will he get in trouble for filing a lawsuit about the election? In other words, saying that the election was.
Hell to the yeah.
I'm sorry.
I saw that as clear as day. Yes, he's going to get in trouble.
Oh yeah, I saw big trouble with that one.
Texas is in for a surprise. How many blue seats are going to be taken there?
Well, it's the same kind of thing that happened to those Trump lawyers. What was that woman's name? And that guy that she had all those patches on her vest. I can't think of that, but they revoked their law license. I can't think of her name. There were two of Trump's
Because they were making fake.
They filed those lawsuits that they didn't research, and they were fake lawsuits about the election, and they got in trouble.
Good, good.
So I can't think of her name.
Yeah, but Paxton is definitely going. And that guy, what's his name? The governor, he's going too.
Oh,
It's
and that
not
was another
Columbia.
question. That was another question that I had. What will happen to Abbott of
He's
Texas?
going. But I don't know about the actor that wants to run for governor.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. I want
Well,
Beto.
I'll never watch another one of his movies, that's for sure,
How come?
because he's a Republican.
Oh, I didn't know he was Republican.
Matthew McConaughey's a Republican.
Oh, so Beto will run as a Democrat.
I think if Beto really gets out there and campaigns hard and does a great job, because people like him in Texas,
I know, and he does a lot for Texas.
he's got a good chance of winning.
Right.
I'm not quite sure of the outcome yet, but I just see Abbott out. Thank God.
I do see Abbott out, but I sure wouldn't want Matthew McConaughey to win.
I wouldn't either, but anything will be better than Abbott. I suppose.
I have a bad feeling about McConaughey. I don't know what it is.
It's like my stomach goes, it just doesn't feel good.
Right, but he's saying, oh, I might run, and his numbers are up there. 44% say they'll vote for him, but I think Beto has more of a case.
I think you're right.
And Beto has experience. You saw what happened when we did Arnold Schwarzenegger here in California.
Well, I won't say the F word, but that was a cluster. You know what?
Well, at least he ended up hating Trump and telling Trump what a piglet he was.
Oh, that's true. Well, that's an insult to a piglet.
Listen, they say that that's the one thing with Trump, with his narcissism, who he is. You cannot confront him or embarrass him, because you will be on a list and he will track you down.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Trump is a bully. And just like that episode with Marjorie Taylor Greene on the courthouse steps and she slinked off. I think if somebody keeps punching Trump harder than he can punch, ultimately he'll stop doing it. And he'll just divert and deceive and create some other scandal or some other drama over here to take attention away. Okay. So ultimately, I think if somebody keeps punching, as I said, harder, he's a coward.
Yeah, he sure is. He sure is, my
friend. And that's another question I have. What is the outcome of Trump's $100 million lawsuit against his niece?
Nothing. I even see courts throwing it out.
It will be thrown out. I think he did that to divert, again, to take the media attention away from something they found out that he had just done.
Right. They're all laughing at him. Especially Mary Trump.
I'm sure Mary Trump's not afraid.
No, not at all.
And you know what? My guides show me Trump had better be careful, because he doesn't want a forensics audit on that whole estate. Because if he does, they can prove that Trump and his sisters took money away from Mary Trump, I think, and her brother or whoever, that they should have gotten. And it's going to bite Trump in the butt big time.
Yeah.
Big time. So.
And then they'll say, okay, well, show us where she's lying. Show us where she's lying. Show us the paperwork where she's lying. He ain't going to be able to come up with no.
He doesn't have it.
Okay, here's a question. Shine Light. Zillow, the online real estate photo service, is now buying whole neighborhoods and jacking up the comparables so they can make a boatload of money. Will that be stopped, or are they going to be allowed to price middle-class people out of reasonably priced homes?
At some point, my guides tell me that kind of price gouging will be made illegal, or they'll put a limit on it. They'll say, I don't know if it's antitrust, but they'll say, you can't do this.
That's what I was feeling too. But it's something, it might even start off in California, says, no, you can't come here and do that. And
that happened in Hawaii. People had condos, and the timeshare people came in and started buying up the condos, gave them inflated prices for their property. And then when they had a majority on the board, on the condo board to vote, they voted to raise the assessment so high that people that were living there couldn't afford it. They forced them out, and then they turned everything timeshare. So
now what? Is it still like that?
I don't think so. a lot of those timeshares went under. So I think the state of Hawaii kind of passed legislation to keep that from happening.
Because people couldn't afford it.
They couldn't afford it. And if you think property is expensive in California and Hawaii, oh my God, it's like
I've heard that.
crazy. Yeah.
Okay, what's your question?
All righty. Will Gabby Petito's boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, be found and will be charged for her murder?
What?
Will Gabby Petito's boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, be found and will he be charged for her murder?
I don't see him living.
I don't either. We talked about this with Violetta and I saw a death vibration around him.
Yeah.
And I saw him where there's palm, sand, and sun. So that would be in Florida, but it could be like in the Everglades or something. I don't know. I see swamp and all of that, but I'm feeling a death vibration.
I don't know if he's gone now, but I know he's trying to disappear.
Exactly.
But they're watching his parents like a hawk. They find out some transaction or something with those parents.
Well, somebody said the parents something about going to the Bahamas, or there was something about sending him to the Bahamas, but I don't see him in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a passport to get in there.
And then it'd be flagged that he was there. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think I could pick up like Florida or Palm, Sand, and Sun is what
But I just feel like I just don't feel like from the beginning, when they asked me about her, I knew she was deceased. I immediately said, I don't feel her spirit in her body. It's outside of her body. And then I felt he did it, but he's claiming energetically it was an accident. Don't ask me why, but I heard him say it was an accident, but he knew it looked bad because he pushed her or did something. He didn't mean to kill her, but he still did something that it caused her.
That caused her death.
So, and I felt the parents didn't know the whole story. That's what I'm feeling, but they want to believe their son. So they think they're helping him, but yeah, I feel like he knows he's done.
You know, we had dinner with my cousin the other night. It was her birthday, and her brother, my cousin Ralph, was saying, you know, it was tragic what happened to her. It was horrible. But, you know, last weekend in Chicago, 40 people got shot and killed, or 40 people got shot. Look at those two kids in Louisville where the drive-by shooter came up and they were shot and one died. Why doesn't that get enough media coverage?
It's the damsel in distress, the white girl in distress.
Right.
People jump on that story.
I mean, what happened to her was tragic. Don't get me wrong. So everybody don't start making negative comments. I'm just saying that there's other things with missing people, especially Native American women.
Oh, it's horrible out there.
That need equal press time. And it's just not happening.
Well, and even like OJ, let's say he had killed a wife, he had a black wife and he killed her. It would have been a big deal because of OJ. But I think that Nicole Brown thing was really a focus. He killed a white woman. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right. I mean, you're right. Had his wife been a woman of color, it might have got some press, but nothing like what happened. It was sensationalism.
Right. So, you know, like if something happened to me, I don't know if it would be that big of a deal, except if people thought they saw me and they say, no, that can't be Linda because her driver's license says she weighs 110 pounds. And that gal there's she's too big.
She's 110-pound blonde.
You can see my fat head in the back of the van. Help me. Doesn't that look like Nash?
That's not Linda. We found her small underwear. It can't be her.
Her petite underwears. No.
The thongs don't match.
So listen, I just bought the book, Peril or whatever it is, the one by Bob Woodward and Robert Costa.
I just finished reading I Can Fix It, but I want to get Peril.
I got that one too.
Have you read Peril yet?
I'm in the middle of it now, and somebody's writing, Rosanna Dana said, why is Bob Woodward and Robert Costa can get former Trump people to talk to them for a book and the government still can't indict anyone? That's a good question.
Well, obviously talking to them for the book can lead to the government asking questions, but I think it was safer in a way because Woodward, you know, they have a way. And I think people figured, okay, I can talk to a reporter. It goes in the book. it just seems less threatening than talking to the government,
There you go. That's true.
because a lot of people, Democrats and Republicans alike, mistrust a lot of people in government, as do I, specifically the Republicans.
Oh, and they Texas has said peril. That's the name of the book. You know who else? That guy, Michael Wolff, he got in there and who sang to him was Bannon. Bannon sang to him, told them all that kind of information. But those guys that took their things and whipped those Haitian people, just trying to
Oh,
get.
that was horrible. Oh my God.
Oh, guess what? Abbott says, you know what? If the government gets rid of you, we'll take you. Because we like when you whip folks.
Well, I think the government is going to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And my question is, who was minding the store? The thing that's going to bring Abbott down, as well as all those police cars he lined up at the border and called it the still wall or something. If we can't build a wall, I'll make one.
Yeah.
Yet he lets COVID in his state rage, doesn't do a thing about it, worries about abortion, and talks about,
He's gonna get rid of rape.
exactly, talks about people's, right to life, but yet lets all these people die of COVID because he won't do anything, and then puts his cars up at the border. I mean, come on. He's on his way out, Linda. He's gonna be, my guides tell me he's gonna be under indictment at some point.
Sweet talker.
Yay.
So what's your question?
Why is Pelosi taking forever, this is Linda, to get this bill passed? Will they send help soon? Us seniors are struggling. Thank you. We love you and Linda.
Oh, okay. Wait, why is what?
She just says, why is Pelosi taking forever to get this bill passed? Will
What
they
bill?
send?
They're working on this week?
Yeah.
Because the moderates said no.
Right, exactly.
They're fighting amongst themselves.
Right. But they will get their heads together.
Yeah, I see the New Deal coming through. My thing is I can never guarantee a time.
Well, me either. Okay, hold on just a sec. Go ahead, Linda.
Okay, so of course I just stepped away to give you the name of that author. Harriet said, why can't Magnet followers wake up? It seems like he smiles in their faces while he picks their pockets. And he made comment to Cohen and other people who used to have a personal relationship with him that he was repulsed by his fans.
Oh yeah, I know, I heard that.
I really don't want to have anything to do with those people. He doesn't like, as much as he demands respect, he doesn't like suck-ups.
And in addition, he is OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. He's a germphobe, and he doesn't like touching people's hands and things.
Right. Now, here's the question that'll take us out of the political realm. What is the purpose for the Easter Island heads?
Oh, that's a good one. I think they were religious. There's really not a head. What they did is
it's buried.
It's a whole body, it's buried. But I think it represented like ancestral spirits, and it was to watch over and protect the islands.
Right, that's what I'm feeling too. There's not some UFO that came and brought them. These were actually done by the natives.
No, it was done by the natives. I have one here too. This is a good one while we're on that, and I'll answer it. It says, can you tell us about the Hawaiian prayer ritual of Ho'oponopono? Well, number one, is not a prayer ritual. Ho'oponopono means to make restitution, to forgive. So in ancient Hawaii, when somebody was ill, the family was called together, and it was like a confession. I might say, Linda, when you stole my rose bush, I was really mad at you. And you can say, Mel, when you put Drano on my flowers to get even, I was really mad at you. So the idea wasn't finger pointing, but it was to get everything out so the healing and the forgiving could occur. Forgiving first, then healing. So Ho'oponopono just means to forgive.
Oh, okay.
And so it's really not a prayer ritual. And there's a lot of misnomers about it, but it's a very simple thing to do. It's just like, with everything I've done against you, I ask you to forgive me.
Good.
And everything you've done to me, I ask to be able to forgive you. But you have to mean it.
That's a very good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
So I have a question. Senator Chuck Grassley said he's going to run again. Will he, at 88? What do you see? Will he make it?
My guides say yes, but if he lives that long. What do you think? I mean, we can disagree.
I think he'll win, but I think he won't stay long.
That's what I said. I was like, on my video, I'm like, I hate to say this, but my guides tell me he'll win, but you're right. He's not gonna be around a long time. I don't wish him harm, but.
Now, a while ago on one of my shows, people asked about the Canary Islands, that the volcano was starting to erupt, and they said, would the island break in half? And I said, no.
No. It's not
And
gonna
I saw slow lava taking place, and it's very sad. My son's girlfriend she was born on the Canary Islands, not at that particular place, I guess across from it or something. They're safe right now. But how do you see that slowing down, or is the worst yet to come?
Well, I don't see the island breaking in half. No.
Oh, and somebody also said, will it cause flooding or something in the East Coast? I didn't see that.
The answer is no. The only time that can happen is tsunamis, is when there's a large amount of land mass that goes in the water, and the water gets displaced and it causes waves, kind of like when you sit in the bathtub. And so there's really no land mass. There's really no huge amounts of land going in the water. This is erupting and the ash is falling down, but there's no big landslides going in the water.
Okay.
So I don't see any tsunamis. No, not from that.
So when my boys were little and they said to me, Mommy, what's a tsunami? I said, you ever seen Mom get in a tub? There's your answer.
That's a tsunami.
That's
a mommy tsunami.
A mommy tsunami.
A good
I also see descent to Satan going. How about you? I see
to Satan. Goodbye.
Cheers.
He thinks he's going to get a run for president, but
hell no.
I don't know if his political career is over, but I think he better think of a different job. He really, okay.
So,
I like this
one more question.
Okay. Will we get to see a perp walk from any of the Trump arrest? A perpetrator's walk?
Yeah, I don't see Trump going to jail. Well, I never have.
I don't either.
I have to stick with that.
But I still see perpetrator walks, like,
and I do see him with his head down sitting before a judge. And so much stuff is going to come upon him. It's just all that stuff he's throwing out comes right back on him.
Oh, when you said that, my guide showed me him sitting there like this with that wispy updo he's got.
Yeah.
And a judge going like this to him.
Yeah, I saw him sitting with like 3 attorneys looking at a judge, and they're really giving it to him.
All right. We got time for one more. This is a
good one. One more. I'm supposed to be with Milu at 10 a.m.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's not your fault.
I'm
just popular.
You are. I watch your videos.
On Milu's show?
I'm sorry?
Have you been on Milu's show?
No.
He's a good psychic.
Well, let's all get together and do a show sometime.
There we go. We should do it.
Let's do it. Okay. When someone has sinned, can the bad karma acquired follow them for the rest of their lives? Can it be released?
Absolutely.
It can be released with a ho'oponopono.
Yeah.
I don't think it follows you if you do something wrong. You did something wrong and you apologize and ask to be forgiven. Now, if you keep doing it over and over again, then that's some bad karma,
Right.
It's kind of like being Catholic. People would say, oh, I did something wrong. I went to the priest. I went to confession. I got absolution. I did it again and again because I keep getting absolution. I'm like, it doesn't work that way.
No. It's something pretty deep too. And let me tell you, it wasn't until later with my awakening when I absolutely saw my ways that were affecting me, I broke the cycle by thinking it.
Exactly.
And realizing that, it had no hold over me. And I was very sorry about anything that I had done to hurt others. And I forgave anyone that hurt me. And it was just like a release.
It's really
Because you don't have to
empowering.
carry it to the other side.
Mm-mm. It's really empowering, because if you carry it to the other side, then you're not going to be at the highest level of life.
Well,
And
and then you have to repeat it. So
exactly. I got one question for you, and then we'll
Okay.
we'll call it quits. When you went through cancer, I mean, it's a horrible disease, but I went through open heart surgery, and I didn't feel near death. I could have been dead if I wouldn't have gotten the surgery, but that had, for me, it was life changing. And I looked at things in a different perspective. How about you? Did it cause you to?
Absolutely. And then what happened is I was walking my dog Moochie, and I begged for my life because my boys were still young. And I said, please don't let me die, because I need to be here for my boys. And that's when I heard that voice that talks in my right ear said, what are you doing? There's no such thing as death. And in that moment, I was like embarrassed and like, whoa, and who the hell is that talking to me? I'm by myself on this trail. And I said, oh my gosh. And then I just said, well, I'm so sorry, but I give you my life. If I must die, I'll die. I know everything's going to be okay. Kind of like when Jesus said, into your hands, I commence my spirit. That's what I was doing. I was giving it everything. You know what? Never mind that. If you need for me to go, if that's going to happen in faith, I know everything will be okay. And that's when the top of the tree started to move and there was no wind. Even the dog sat still, which he never did. He was always like, come on, mommy, come on, mommy. And we both sat there. I thought it was a truck from the Rangers coming through. That's the rumbling noise I heard. And that's when something went through me. It was like a wind or something. I just absolutely chilled me to my bone. And I heard, thy will be done. And then boom. And then as soon as it cleared through me, I was vibrating, like zooming for 2 days. I couldn't eat. If I can't eat, something's up. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't get the smell of the earth off my hands. It was the weirdest thing for 2 days. Now, I wasn't totally awake by then either. The other venture was that's when they started presenting me like with Eckhart Tolle. I started practicing the 3 breaths a day. And vibrationally, it just got to where all of a sudden it was very easy. Like the day they said, you're going to do a YouTube video. I'm like, what? I don't want to have to get up and brush my hair. They said, Linda, you'll help calm people down. I said, all right. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But they did say, if you let your ego get involved, we'll remove your gift. They did say that.
Oh yeah.
And someone like me who let go of my ego.
Yeah, me too. It was like, what?
I have quite the ego back in the day, but now it's just, I go with it, and we're going on 46,000 subscribers, and it's beautiful.
Well, you encouraged me to do mine, and
Yeah.
thank you. I did the same thing. I don't want to do it. I was old fashioned.
Right.
I'd see
You
people.
would want to hear me,
Exactly. But when I had my surgery, it was funny. I was going down the elevator and I saw my Hawaiian teacher who was in spirit. I saw her like I'm looking at you. And she called me by my Hawaiian name, Li'ipua Okeakua. It means little flower of God or little flower of spirit. And she said, Li'i, it's not your time yet. Your work is not done. Just do your work. I'm like, what is she talking about? But I was like, okay. And then when I got back up to my room, I remember waking up and I saw my friend Fanny, who was a smoker, but she was in spirit. And I was a smoker, and she had a cigarette in her mouth and she went, okay, never again. And so I'm getting all these spirit messages, and it was weird. I saw things in a different light, totally different light.
Milo, I'll be right there. I'm ending my video now. Thank you. Bye.
All right, my dear. It was just a totally different light for me. Right. Things that used to bother me didn't bother me anymore. It was like I saw things differently.
Oh, that's wonderful. I like that. I don't understand any of the Hawaiian language. Notice how I'm getting blurry.
Oh, wow. That's a good sign. There you go.
Wow. I
Ooh,
like
well,
blurry.
that meant our visions were blurred before we had these experiences,
And
and
now
now they're
we're awakened. Yeah.
more
But
awake.
there's no way to describe it or tell people this is how you grasp it. Now, the other thing they want me to do is write that book. And it's just uncanny, the things that have happened to make sure I'm writing that book. It's just uncanny, the miracles that have taken place. But I'll do the book, whatever they want me to do, because they told me.
I have to smack myself because people have been telling me to write a book for years. I go, I don't know how to write a
Yeah,
book.
but did you get it from your guides?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
My
coming from
guides
the guy
told
to write a
me.
book.
And I'm like, I'm not a writer. You better help me. And they sent someone to help me. So
And then I sit down and try to write, and I'm like,
I know I'm doing it, my friend. I'm making sure
I want an autographed copy. I'm going to say in my book, Linda Grindle told me to do it.
All right, my friend. You take care.
All right. We'll do it again. Bye.
Take care. Ciao.